Looks like we are live. Okay. Well, welcome everybody to another edition of Tuning In with Tony on this fine July day. It's July 3rd there today here in the Ottawa area, Canada. And those of you that are going to be listening to this show or watching this show know that we are celebrating we just celebrated our Canada Day a couple of days ago. So it's been a real joy to be able to celebrate our country in that way. Spirit wanted to talk a little bit about the 7-7 energies that are not only coming, but it's here. It's going to be pinnacling around the July 6th to July 7, basically. And we are going to be looking at quite an array of energy that is coming through. We're going to be talking about the 7-7 energies today to get you guys ready for it. And up until about like 15 minutes ago, I didn't know that I'm supposed to do an event on that day. Spirit says we're going to do a 777. So it'll be on July the 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't even know how that's going to work in the marketing part to let people know. But anyway, we're going to be doing that because that's the highest light of this energy that we're going to be talking about today of bringing everything in. So there's a chance. Logistics, we're still looking at how the logistics are going to work. More than likely, it'll be live like this. For our regular members, we'll have our private Zoom group as well. But we're going to largely go on the outside, so we'll be doing Facebook Live. So we'll give you more information about that as we go, okay? The logistics is one thing, but Spirits really is excited about this particular event. So let's see how we can help you guys bring some of this stuff in. Well, this show has been brought to you by Higher Self. It's a group of teachers that's been brought together. I'm in physical form. I have many others that are around me and others right around the world. And the whole idea is to be able to raise the consciousness of the collective, of the people that are asking for be able to get their vibration to rise in some way, look at things in a deeper understanding. We got some pretty big surprises today, too. You wanted to, and I've been holding back on some of this stuff, but Spirit is saying we're going to have our gloves off today in terms of there's no limitations of what we're going to be talking about today regarding light. Some things may not surprise you, maybe other things might. But the idea is to be able to look at the collective and give you some various insights on how this is all going to go. So whether you come in for a reading, which is what we do when people want a reading, get an idea of where they are in life, you can please come in for that. It'll certainly change your vibration that way. I work with tuning forks, and when after a reading or many things that we do, we can give you what we call a tuning session. And this is like a massage that you lie down, but there's no physical touch. We are working mostly in the biofield or the auric area, the energy outside of your body, and through sound vibrations and so on. And we're able to do that, whether it's in person, you can come right to my studio here in the Ottawa area, or we can do it remotely. I have people all over the world that are looking for tuning sessions, and we can do it right over Zoom, right over various means that we are through long distance. It's a special way to do that, and as a master teacher, I teach how to do that for other people. So it's a real joy to be able to dive into someone's energy and just to see and feel how amazing they are so that they could see what I see and what Spirit sees, all right? So we also have monthly sound baths. Every month we have a sound bath coming up. We have one coming up very soon in a few weeks. So look forward to that. And we have many classes that we also teach. You just simply go to lovehigherself.com, our website, and if you go to the events column, you'll be able to see all the classes and the sound baths and so on. We are going to be listing about 3 more classes that we're going to be teaching. One is coming up actually this Sunday at the Rainbow Minerals place in Ottawa, East End, where we're teaching that in person. And we do have a couple of people online that will also want to join in, and they're from outside of the many outside of the town, but some are outside of the country. So if you are interested in that, want some more information, and maybe you even have some of the tools, please let us know. We'd be happy to make sure that you're ready. And if you got all the tools, then we'd be happy to show you how to use them in a different perspective. All right. And we also have certified classes through somaenergetics.com. And we can make it so that you could use this as a profession, or if you want to do it professionally for your family and onward. So this is where we can get you started. So you can go as small or as large as you want to be. We have distance tuning, as I mentioned, and angel tuning, DNA activation classes. Like the array goes on and on. And the newest one that we've taught recently was the Fibonacci, an amazing, amazing technique. It's advanced for people that are really serious. They want to get into this. A lot of people that are chiropractors, massage therapists, and the list just goes on. They have many counselors that are also want to end a session with a tuning session, and we'll show you how to do it. So it's all great. It's all good that way. The Soma Energetics itself, you go there, and they have all the tools, all the tuning forks you need, and on there are all the classes that I teach in there. I'm the master teacher there, and I'm honored to do so. They are an amazing company, amazing people that are running it, and it's just a joy to be able to work in that space. We also have a podcast channel where you can get some of this information. So if you have a favorite podcast platform, whether it's iHeartRadio or whether it's Spotify, Apple, whatever it is, and 15 other stations, we're probably in there. If you go to Raising Your Spirits with Tony, you'll more than likely find us. And you're going to find two categories. One is the library, where we have all of these types of shows on there. And the other one is meditation only, where throughout the class itself we have a meditation at the end of it. But if you don't want to listen to the dialogue, you can get right into the meditation with some of those other classes. We have a YouTube channel as well. Same thing. We just simply type in Raising Your Spirits with Tony, and you'll find us there too. Okay. Our membership itself, if you want additional content, and if you're really serious about ascending, becoming higher in the vibration, being able to discern what's going on, we have many classes and workshops, and we have all kinds of things that we could really help you with along the way to be able to lighten your energy. Okay, so let's get right into our topic. Well, obviously today's color is orange. I love orange. It's such a kid's fun thing. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that General Lee, the Dukes of Hazzard, had an orange car, and it was always in the air. It was always flying. So it's always had that playful color in that way. And the theme, of course, today is about self-worth. The ability to be able to see yourself and see the value of what you bring. And sometimes that takes decades to really understand what your value is, especially if in the first decade and a half to 2 decades, you weren't told that you were a big deal. You weren't told that you were a valuable asset to society. You weren't, sometimes people just don't, and we have to find out for ourselves in other ways. And that's the crux of all this. So the energies of July 6th and 7th, mostly 7th, is where it sort of peaks. It brings up a new ability for all of us. It's an ability that you already have, and it's just locked away. You've been engineered to be able to be at a certain place. You've been engineered to grow a certain way, and this light that's coming in is going to be one of the catalysts that's going to be happening to help you with that energy to come out. Not only is it going to tickle the DNA light codes, it's going to be able to do a lot more other things, as it will be with like seeds. It needs light and so on. And the the whole crux of all this is to be able to know what to do with this light, because they call it in this process a soul sight. It's the soul sight. So, what is that? It's the ability to see and feel what spirit is seeing and feeling. And wouldn't that be cool? To see other people the way spirit sees them. Now, it's the initial part of this light, so don't go out thinking that you're going to be able to see a lot of this stuff, because a lot of it is inner work where it's going to start the process and it's going to be working on you first. The moment you start seeing your worth and you start seeing your light, this light will absolutely help. However, in guiding this light, if there's any hiccups or thinking that, oh no, this isn't for me, or I'm not that valuable, I've always been told I'm this or that, and that's going to slow everything down. So these are for people that have already gone through that, and usually by that point they're saying, look, I just want the truth. I just want to know where this is going. I want to know what's happening with all of this. All right? And so that's what this light does. It's to be able to see what spirit is seeing. The more others that connect to source, to God, the more you will be able to feel the presence of it. Like when you are bathing in that reservoir of spirit and you are used to it and you get accustomed to it, and it's almost a daily ritual. I'm talking to people that are really serious and they're doing it as a regiment every day, sometimes multiple times a day, where they're in this constant flow of, I don't want to say abundance because that's so overused. It's this reservoir of everything is everything in a drop. Right? You have this drop of water, let's say, and the ocean is that. Essentially, that the whole ocean is that drop, and you have a drop in the ocean. So it's that knowledge that we don't need more than what we are getting, because we have everything we need at our fingertips. It's just the culmination of all the things that you've been told that's right and we believed when we were younger, is now we're revisiting and starting to see that it's out of date. Or maybe it wasn't that accurate. Or maybe there's something else going on. So this is where we're going to start to maybe shed some light on some of that today. So when we are looking at a person, we're actually seeing the face of spirit behind them. Okay? So it's not the person. And this is really important for people that, let's say, you want to go out on a date with, or you want to marry, or you want to do like sort of a life commitment with somebody. Even in business, if you're thinking of amalgamating two businesses together or creating a partnership, I mean, that is human, but in the end, it's about character. Are you going to be able to get along with this person? And all of it has to do with, you got to look past the face and see the spirit behind them. If you don't see anything, they're not working on themselves. That means all the decisions they are making is what's happening up here. So the question is, can you trust that? All right? So that's kind of where we're looking at this. We're going to look into the heart. We're going to look into what the soul is seeing. And that's kind of the main thrust of today. So when you look at and you are letting that blessing come out of you, this part that is the soul sight anyway, it's already in there, people are then more connected to their source energy. So what's slowing everything down, and I'll be honest with you, it's materialistic thoughts. If you don't think you have enough money, if you want to advance your business, if you think that is the climb up the ladder, if you think that whatever that's happening humanly, if you think that is the way to be able to get up, that's what's holding you back in this. Because you kind of have to work in reverse. Much like an arrow, the way it works. It has to go backwards quite a bit. So when that lets go, there's even more power going forward. And a lot of people want to go where they are to go forward. But that's not how it works. In the materialistic world, yes, that's how it seems to work. That's why we're so much struggle. But when you set yourself back, when you just take a step back and just say, let me just take a look at the landscape here, and you look at another perspective, you might see something that other people don't. And other people will say, "Hey, you're falling behind. You're losing your lead," or whatever the narrative might be. And because the society has been so good to try and convince us that you're behind. You know, you don't have enough money in. There's always extra expenses, whether it be taxes or whether the prices are going up. But all that is human, because in the end, it has to do with, do you think you're enough? Do you think that what you are, where you are, is enough? And it's those people that seem to prosper. When the person says, "Yeah, I got everything I need," there's more things coming for them, because there's never this energy of lack that I'm missing anything. All right? So when you look at an angry person, all right, what do you see? Do you see an angry person and you're reacting to that? Or when you look at what spirit sees, they're seeing a frightened individual that's alone in this world and think they have to fend for themselves. And that's why they're angry. That's a reaction. So in other words, you see past the initial hit. You see past whatever people are going through and look at the face behind what's there. And a lot of times I see tears. I see they're scared. They've never had a break, and they don't feel that anybody will give them one. And on it goes. And then from that, anger is out there because they feel, and they see other people got their second car. Here's a guy down the street that bought a boat. Another guy bought a Sea-Doo. They're all laughing and partying and neighbors. And you think that everybody has it made except me. I mean, if that's your perspective, then that's what you're carrying. And so imagine the face behind that. So what this will do is you'll see the light past the face, past the anger, past the guilt, past the fear. What is there? Usually you'll see a little boy or a little girl that's just alone and scared and cold, and on it goes. And when you meet that with compassion, it really disables the anger. Because for the first time, perhaps in the person's life, someone is paying attention to them. Yes, of course, by that point, depending on their age, they might think that the only reason that you're trying to be compassionate is because you want something. Because in the past, other people have wanted something too and has taken advantage of the situation. And again, that just adds to the anger. So there's a lot of, deceit energy in the beginning where they think you are trying to dupe them or trying to, and they can't understand you. The people that are so kind and so accommodating, they're saying, no, they want something. They got something up their sleeve. There's an ulterior motive here. That's why they're nice to me. Next thing you know, I'll be on Facebook and I'll be embarrassing. I don't want, and then there's anger pushing everybody away. So sometimes the more compassionate we become and the more that we want to help somebody, there's more pushback. So that's why Spirit is saying, when you see that, you just got to say hi. And there's no pressure at all. Say hi over the fence if it is a neighbor or if it is an old friend. Let's say you went out with somebody in high school, but you meet them again, and now they're guilty because they're probably no further ahead than they were in high school. I met a couple like that over the last 6 months, where it's a people that in my high school, my God, that was at least 10 years ago. So when you look back at that, what do they see? They see a person that seems successful, and they haven't gotten anywhere. They're in the same job as perhaps they were when they were in high school. And they just sort of coasted in their mind. Not my words, theirs. And they felt that that's the only way that they could do anything. At least I have a job. And, many people went on to further their education and do all the other things, and they had to do whatever risk they had to do. So they don't see all the risk and all the pain it took to get you where you are. They just see you right now. So you're going to get different ways of people of how they're going to take that, okay? So instead of reacting, be compassionate. Look at the July energy as an influx that will help you see this in something that's always been inside of you. Remember, anything that comes out of you, you're not learning anything. It's a review. You're not upgrading. Now, although we call it upgrade just out of convenience of the language, but really there's no such thing as upgrade because it gives you the impression that I didn't have this up until now, and now I need this extra upgrade or whatever. It's mostly for convenience because people understand upgrades, but they don't always understand the fact that you always have this already inside of you. We're just waiting for a certain time. And sometimes there's some pushback about saying things like that. So Spirit will say whatever is needed to keep you in that loop that you're still growing. But know that when you get a light or a light goes off, as they say, yeah, this bulb went off and I got into this completely different direction, and that's usually because a certain light came in that opened up something that was already inside of you. And that's the upgrade. Yes, if you want to call that an upgrade, fine. But it was always there, and it was only now that you're able to see it. The one quote that I think I read the other day on this one was try to forgive yourself for something that you didn't know, because only time can teach you some lessons. In the sense that you did your best years ago to make the best decisions you could, but it was time that it took for you to learn the real lessons, and then you got it. So when something happens and you look back and you said, oh, I should have done this or I should have done that, but it took time for you to understand really what it means. Because we don't understand so many things when we start out in life. We try our best. We make decisions the best we can based on what we have at the time. And it's all about lessons. It's nothing, no mistake has been made, but now you know. And so what are you going to do with it now? Are you going to spend the rest of your life or the good portion of your life regretting what should have happened in your mind? But look how much wiser you are now, maybe after the second or third relationship that perhaps didn't work. But now look at you. You're now more intelligent, and you would see a person that a mile away that doesn't have the right intentions, because now you have boundaries. You have some things that you will not settle for. You'll see a person that will want to take control right away, where when you were younger, not so much, right? You just sort of went with it, thinking that they had their best interest at heart, which is true, but you thought they had your best interest at heart. So sometimes it just takes a little time, but it doesn't mean we have to react with anger or react with any kind of emotional regret or guilt, okay? And I want to talk a little bit about God's light. Spirit just wants to just mention a couple of things. First of all, many people, we talk about even the word God in some places that they sort of cringe at that. They might have had a pretty rough childhood, and whether it was a group of people that talked about this, and it really didn't make a big impact on you. In fact, some people really push back on that word. But many people do believe, and that's good. But the point of all this is that the story of God for everybody has been a little altered. All right, just to touch on this, because when we talk about this light coming in, this is the source energy that's coming to you. It's God's energy. So I want to make sure that we really understand, first of all, this is not religion. This is energy. This is pure source energy. And I was told the same thing as a lot of you people have, that God had standards, and God was not going to be happy if I was a bad boy, was not going to be happy if I didn't listen, was not going to, in other words, I had a whole list of things and things I had to jump through, the hoops I had to go through, so that in time I would be accepted in heaven. And what Spirit is saying is whether a person is a law abiding citizen or a prisoner, we all go to heaven. There is no judgment. We all go there. And that's just the way it is because we come from source energy. The face that is behind our own face, we are just wearing a mask, but behind it is God, is that source energy. Okay, and that loves you. One of the things I love, but I'm not sure if you know George Carlin. Many of you do. He's been, my God, he used to do this thing many years ago, 40 plus years before he passed away, and his analogy is Spirit is actually humorous. Because a lot of his shows were putting down the fact that a God exists. And he says basically, we are led to believe that there's a man in the sky, and he wants you to follow 10 rules or follow all these. And in his skit, he basically says that he wants to have you happy. He wants to make sure that he loves you, but he's having you go through all this suffering and all that fire to make sure that you follow his rules. And Spirit says, there's none of that. There's no rules. There's no standards. There's no anything. There's just love. And that's not the same God that we have been led to look at. Because we have been led to follow the God in many ways. And if you look at it, it's a tyrant. The way that it's described in many books and in many ways, that if you are God-fearing, if you are if you're bad, then they will be after you. But Spirit is just laughing at that because there is none of that. And so we wanted to bring that out because so many people have that issue where we have this feeling about this God of energy, that we have to go through so much to get this everlasting light and all the things that it describes, but God doesn't have any of that. Also, the gender of God has been skewed as well. I mean, when you look at energy in perspective of what God actually is, it is one of creation. It's one based on unconditional love, which we have all heard about, nurturing. It never judges, and it's always at peace. It always welcomes you no matter what you've done, no matter what you are going to do. It welcomes you with total love. It meets you with a softness and an understanding that always comes from the heart. Does that sound like a man? Basically, it is absolutely impossible, and it defies universal law that God is a man. And that's what we've always been told, that God is that. But it isn't any of that. We have Mother Nature, which is part of the universal field, and that's not on this earth. That's universal. That is part of creation. But there is also Mother Sky. So it owns all of it. And the male or the masculine has a seed that brings you to this earth, that we are now in these bodies. But if you look at how creation is built, basically we just need the seed of a man, and the woman does the rest. The woman grows the baby in her body. The baby feeds in that 9 months in the womb, all totally taken care of. When the baby comes through the woman, the baby continues to feed through the woman's body. In other words, it's all about creation, and this is where it's all been skewed. But anyway, that I digress here. We just wanted to mention that, realizing that the heart is the feminine, and it's the head that is masculine. Even in feng shui, when we look at the various parts of a home, and each part of the home has a different body part. And the heart is the love area. And where the head is, our head, is the father figure. So in other words, even in ancient art and things like that, there's always the head, which is male or which is masculine, and the heart is feminine. And it is the blending of those two that actually create to get things done. Okay? So when we all come and come full circle with this, it's all about finding peace. It's all about finding something that's within us that is peaceful, that's loving, okay? And that's the God that we always hoped that there was, and it is that way. So when we look at the divine light and the type of peace, there's two kinds of peace. There's two kinds of originality in peace. The first one is called human peace. Now, the human peace is when all your bills are paid. How does that feel? You know, everything that comes in, all the bills that come in, you're able to pay it. They're all done. So that's a level of peace. Now, some people are in that great, and that's wonderful. But that's the peace that we talk about that's human. Also, if you have a little extra money that you could buy some extras, like, I don't know, maybe you feel like buying a kayak, or maybe you feel like doing an extra vacation, and it's okay because it's extra. That's another level of peace, all right? A good test result, whether it's on an exam or whether you get back some test results from your health and everything's good, everything's fine. That gives you a level of peace, okay? Another way is that if somebody says yes, that you asked them out, would it be okay if we go out on a date? And they say yes. So there's a level of peace. And then you get the same answer, yes, when you get married. Yes, I do. Okay? So there's a level of peace. But all of these are conditional based on outside factors. Okay, that's considered masculine. Then the other level of peace is divine peace. And in this peace, it's not so much a place, a situation, or an approval, but a state where you are familiar with source energy. You're there all the time. I don't know if you've ever had a grandmother or somebody in your family, and it was usually grandmothers or whatever, they would just love their grandkids all to death. You know, they would look at you, not say a word, and they would have a little smile. And I can't even describe how amazing that is. Without saying a word, just a little smile, you know you're loved. That's the kind of love that we're talking about in source energy. Some people see this, and maybe perhaps you had a grandmother like that and isn't around anymore, but you will never forget that person. All right? It's the ultimate in that love where you don't have to say a word. Another one is it's a pure stillness. We talked about stillness in December. It was a meditation that we did, and it was just practicing doing nothing. Just in that stillness. That's where source energy is, in that stillness. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but let's say you're at someone's cottage, maybe your own, but you're at a cottage overlooking the lake. The sun is about to come up. You have a beverage or a drink in your hand, and you're sitting on the porch looking out at the water. There's a little bit of fog, and it's so quiet. There is literally no noise. There's a very gentle wind, but it's beautiful. And the sun is starting to come up, let's say, if you can envision this. And in this space, a white, fluffy, white feather comes out of nowhere, and it's floating down. And it's quiet, and it's just floating, and your eyes catch it, and your eyes follow this feather going down, and when it just about hits the ground, you're mesmerized about this fluffy white thing. You're still, and you're just in wonderment. I like to use that word because kids do it all the time. Their eyes are wide. They're in total wonderment. Everything is a big deal to a kid. Whether it's trapping a little minnow between rocks, near a creek, or frogs or something, and their eyes are wide and they're in wonderment. So it's that type of thing. You're just watching this white fluffy feather, and just before it hits the ground, Spirit is saying, just before it touches, there's a space between the ground and the feather. That's source energy. It is that subtle, that almost like you would discount it. Not a big deal. But that's where source energy is. Because it took your eyes and you followed it all the way down until it was about to touch. Because you wanted to see it touch the ground. And if you could actually do this, I don't know if it's ever happened, but what Spirit is saying, if two people are ready to fight and they're really angry at something, and just before they go at it among themselves, if this white feather were to just float in front of the both of them, and they both catch it, by the time the feather hits the ground, they will be disarmed and not know what they were about to do. It is that powerful and that soft. That's God. It's so, we try to overcomplicate this, and I think maybe that's why we overshoot what God really is. It's inside of all of us. We are part of that energy, and it's that subtle yet that powerful. But we think it has to be power. Somebody once said God doesn't have power. There is no power because it's all around us. How could something have power if it's all around us? Because our definition of power is that we're in a car, let's say, and we hit the gas, and we have 1,000 horsepower. There's power. So there's that instant, power. But there's none of that in spirit. There isn't any of that in spirit that I have been witness to. It's always been this gentle, easy-going feather. That's the best description I could get. When I heard this, I says, yeah, that's a little bit like that. They're never in a rush. They're always softly spoken. They're always so nurturing and so loving. No matter how panicked you are, it's always, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do. And it's just like it's only humans that freak out over the smallest things, right? So how is it that this energy can be like that? Is because it's everywhere. So there's no power. I thought that was interesting. When you look at it, there is no power. It just is what it is. It's the is. We have to use the word power because there's negative power. And then we all of a sudden there's positive power. Then there's a war between. But there's no war. There's none of that in spirit. There's just light or there's no light. It's not a power. It's just what it is. So if you want to say there's power all around you, that's fine if that's the way you see it. But in essence, there's no power. It's all around us. So this 7-7 will bring out this kind of stuff out of you because it's in there. Because even as I'm talking, how does it sound to you? Does it make some kind of spiritual sense, if there's such a thing, okay, or logic, if there's such a thing? But does it feel right that the source energy doesn't have any power? It's because it's all around us. It's omnipresent, as they say. There isn't any place that it isn't. So is that power, or is that just what things are? When we say that we need more power, we need more energy, what are we really saying? It means that we are overweighted by so many things that now we need more power, plus we want to take the weight that we're handling. Because we don't want to let the weight go. Heaven forbid if we let the weight go. But that's exactly what it is. We let the weight go, and if we are a cork, we will always float to the surface. Always. Even if you put a cork underwater for 10 years, literally, as soon as you let that go, it'll float to the surface. That's its nature, to rise. So as soon as you let yourself go, what do you think is going to happen to you? The power that you have, probably it took a lot of power to hold yourself down, to keep yourself in place. That took power. This is what this light that's coming on July 7th will help you come through. Realizing your own light is so easy, so soft, yet powerful, because it doesn't need to be more than it is. It's enough as you are. You are enough. when we start to get so feeling about one of the pieces, whether it's the human piece or the divine piece, only one will make you feel like you're enough. Only one will make you feel whole, that no matter where you are, what you do, you feel content. So you have to decide which piece it is, because you can't have both. You're going to decide whether it's the human piece, and it's good to be in both, but one will resonate with you more than others. And no matter which one you take, Spirit is saying, you're going to be working on it. If you're at human peace, you're going to be working on it to perhaps get out of it or perhaps find another purpose. If you're on divine peace, well, there's an unlimited amount of peace that you can still bring in to connect to your source energy in a deeper way, right? So this is where we want to do that. The acorn doesn't look for anything missing or any missing pieces while it grows. If you look at an acorn in the woods, the oak tree is in there. There's nothing missing. It's just neatly folded away until it gets the right light. Certain parts of the tree at a certain time, the light will hit it a certain way, and a branch will come out. It'll just be a little stub, and in time it'll be a massive branch, weighing literally hundreds of pounds. And it'll just grow in that way. So there's nothing missing. The entire tree is inside the seed. Everything is there. Nothing's missing. So the acorn's not looking for anything missing. It just grows the way it is. So is that power? I don't know. That's our everyday thing. So sometimes maybe we have to redefine what power is for you. If you're looking at something that you can see that there's power, is it? Or is it something else? So this 7-7 energy will hopefully start a branch to come out of you in the exact time you need it. Because it's always been there. Maybe parts of you are just waiting for a certain light to come in so that you can branch out. So you can finally come in and nothing was ever missing. You just had to have the right situations. You have enough water, as the tree does. You have enough sustenance and enough light. And a tree doesn't care if you like it or not. If you don't like the tree, it doesn't care. If people think it's an ugly tree, it doesn't matter. It still grows. And that's the wonderful thing about it, because then the question becomes, if we are a tree that is always looking at the opinions of how other people see us, that's an energy that really taking away from our growth. Because instead of focusing on our growth and the leaves and the photosynthesis system, making sure everything is going in the tree, you're focused on that, and that's why the tree grows so strong. When it starts to look at other things, it's taking that energy away from its own growth. Like the term comes in, the grass is always greener on the other side. And that is so true. Because as long as your eyes are on the other side, you're not watering your own. Of course, it's going to be dying of water and nourishment if your focus is somewhere else. Same with relationships. In a relationship, if your eyes are on something else and you think you can do better, you're missing out because of the person that you're with, why are you there? Why are you there? If you're only there because of a responsibility, I think that person would be happier just being by themselves alone. I'm not saying you have to make a decision, but I am saying that there's come a time where you're going to be taking an inventory of where your focus is and what light you are actually nurturing. Okay? So in this particular meditation that we've come up with, it's about the Heart Sutra. We did this quite a few years ago, and it's all about tearing down everything in your life that you hold dear, everything, and building you back up from scratch. Okay? So I want you to take a nice deep breath of orange. And sit back, and we'll see you in a little bit. Relax and sit comfortably. Close your eyes and make a gesture of the heart-calming mudra. Now this is when your hands are open with palms up. And place your left hand over your right and join your thumbs together so that the opening faces your heart. Recite the heart-calming mantra 9 times, and this will sound as follows. Simply say, Gete Gete, Pada Gete, Pada Sam Gete, Buddhi Svaha, Gete Gete, Pada Gete, Pada Sam Gete, Buddhi Svaha, Gete Gete, Pada Gete, Pada Sam Gete, Buddhi Svaha, Gete Gete, Pada Gete, Pada Sam Gete, Buddhi Svaha, Gete Gete, Pada Gete, Pada Sam Gete, Buddhi Svaha, Gete Gete, Pada Gete, Pada Sam Gete, Buddhi Svaha, Gete Gete, Pada Gete, Pada Sam Gete, Buddhi Svaha, Gete Gete, Pada Gete, Pada Sam Gete, Buddhi Svaha, Gete Gete, Pada Gete, Pada Sam Gete, Buddhi Svaha. Now visualize that everything is empty. Your prosperity is empty. Your fame is empty. All of your negative karma, all your worries, all your troubles, your thoughts, everything you can imagine is in an empty state. Even visualize that the roof above your head and the walls around you have all vanished, and all you have is the boundless sky that you are in the middle of. I want you to visualize that while you're in this floating emptiness, there are tens of thousands of energies starting to surround you. This includes angels, Buddhas, kings, queens, all the people that you admire, all the people that love you. And they've settled themselves around you, row by row, tier by tier, like an auditorium, 360 degrees around you. They are masters of their own right. And you are in deep calm and meditation. I want you to imagine a flame burning at the top of your head. And this flame has burned up all of your hair. Then it starts to move down. It engulfs your eyes, your nose, your tongue, and your entire body. All your thoughts, all your carnal desires, and all your material desires. The flame destroys everything. It frees you from your sense of smell, your sense of taste, your sense of touch, and your sense of hearing, and the sense of sight. Imagine that all of the negative karma that you've had, all the negativity that you have from your past, your present, and your future lives have all perished in this flame. This flame has burned all of your sins of speech, the sins of action, sins of thought. The fire has freed you from the 10 cardinal sins, has freed you from all sins, all your illnesses, all of your worries, all of your impure thoughts, and all your bad luck, all your obstructions that you can imagine in your life, and all the bad things that even are going to happen have now been burned to ashes. Your life is now cleared of all these negative things, and all that is left now is your skeletal frame. Visualize your skeletal frame from your skull to your teeth, the cervical vertebrae, your shoulder blades. Move down and feel your arms, your fingers, your ribs, your spine, your pelvis. Move down to your thighs and your calf, all the way down to the bones in your toes. And visualize that each and every bone in your skeletal frame is red hot and bright as molten steel in a smelting furnace. Everything is burned off. Everything is gone. All that's left is your frame. Now visualize that you are sitting on top of a fresh lotus flower. It has 8 petals surrounding you, laying flat on the ground. Your flesh is being reborn from the flesh of the lotus flower. It starts to curl up, and it covers your skeletal frame. The lotus flower flesh then surrounds your red-hot skeletal frame. And suddenly, all of your internal organs are starting to become reborn from this beautiful flower. The lotus flesh is pink, it's tender and healthy. You now have a fresh, new set of organs. And it's followed by all your ligaments, your cartilage. Skin goes over it. Fresh skin. Everything is being regenerated from this beautiful flower. And in the end, you've got a brand new body, new to this world. It's done nothing. Everything has been cleared, and you're starting over. You will now have a fresh new body that it's invincible. I want you to visualize now that your heart also has this 8-petal lotus flower blooming inside of it. On this lotus flower sits a golden figure. It is your higher self. It is your ultimate self. And it is your meditation place to go, as it knows everything. And this figure, this golden figure, starts to grow, starting from your heart, and the size of it is small to start, but it starts to grow bigger, and eventually it fills your entire body. This golden figure is now your real hands, your real feet, your real legs, and you are filled with wisdom. Your heart is now full. It is filled with great compassion and benevolence. Your body is now this golden figure inside, and you have boundless spiritual power. Nothing is holding you back. You have no weight, nothing from the past. You are this golden figure. Visualize that this figure, light, fills inside of it, and it is emanating from your body. It's exuding. First, visualize that the light is beamed from you to the tens of thousands of energies that are surrounding you in this auditorium, this 360-degree place where you stand. And all of these energies, all the angels, all those respected people and energies that you highly regard, at the same time as you're exuding energy to all of them, they are in turn sending light towards you. At one point, the two lights will combine, will meet in the middle. Your light, then combined with the light of those that are around you, then goes to all the inhabitants of all the realms of existence. It goes to every human on this planet, every animal, every spirit, and every negative spirit, as they are crying for help in their own way. And I want you to watch their suffering start to ease as the light shines upon them. Visualize smiles slowly forming on their faces. These beings are then starting to give out light, like lighting a candle or a lantern. And then in turn, that light is now being sent back to you. Your light then beams towards all your spiritual teachers, your gurus, the people that you respect, your grandfathers, your grandmothers, your spiritual guides, any teacher, anyone that has been helpful to you. Your light goes to them. And imagine that this light fills your respected people's body, and you pray for their health and their longevity. And imagine that you are now this guru that other people respect, and that they are now sending that light back to you. These combined light is now emanating from your body, and I want you to send it towards your friends, your families, even from far away, that need your blessing, that needs anyone's blessing. And then the light enters their home and cleanses their home from all the negativity that might be there, which will include maybe some illness, perhaps some bad luck that is stagnant. And they are all being swept away by this beautiful light that you send them. This light then enters their bodies and rids them of any illness, any bad luck, and any negative karma that they have from this life and from other lives. Visualize that they are now healthy and happy and emanating light of their own. Then light comes back to you as you shine light to these people. It's just a reaction that they send that back to you. And then once again, that light is combined, and then more light comes out of you from your own body. And this time, I want you to send that light to your house, to your office, to your immediate family, so that it clears everything from your humble abode. And like a spinning wheel, have that energy rotate and spindle throughout your home in every nook and cranny you can think of. Every pocket, every stagnant space or dark space there might be that is unused. And it cleanses your place. And it cleans up any stagnant energy, any curses or people that have sent anything without your knowledge, of jealousy, or any other energies that is not to your higher good. And it cleanses and cleans like a washing machine your house from top to bottom. And as this place is cleansed, your family members that visit will just simply feel better coming into your environment. They are literally glowing from the light that is now part of your home. Be grateful for all those things that have happened to you, because in the end, you were able to clear it all, let it all go, to the point where nothing can hold you back. Nothing can stop you. Without obstacles, we would never know, or you would never know, that you have the power to clear anything. And as all this light is in your home and starts to return to you and charges your energy once again, repeat after me. Take a nice deep breath. Breathe in whatever color that you feel that you need. Green is a healing color, but whatever color you feel that you need, you vibrate to, breathe it in now, and just do an ending chant. And that one will be your Om Mani Padme Hum, and we will recite this 9 times. As you're breathing in and out, just whisper this chant. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Take a nice deep breath. breathe out and let all of it go. And know that you are strong by simply being empty, by having nothing that can hold you back. The strength has never wavered, but by taking more on and hanging on to more things, it weighs you down and it inhibits your strength. So by simply letting things go, you will naturally feel stronger. Much like dropping a pack sack of rocks so that you can continue to climb a mountain. You don't get stronger, you get lighter. The strength is always there. Go in peace. Slowly come out of the place that you were. How do you feel? You've been redesigned, but things have just been moved around. There's nothing that's been added because nothing was missing. Take a nice deep breath of this orange color. Slowly come back into the room that you're in. Okay, and just for you people on Facebook Live, we will be sending out various notes, messages for the July 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time inception of this light. It'll take about 27 or 28 minutes is what I'm getting. And that is to help you receive this light in the way that they'd like you. And from there, what you do with that light will be up to you. So we'll give you some insight. We'll give you some, it'll be like a mini sound bath, very little. I'm not sure of all the details, but Spirit will be able to help you do something with this light that's coming in no matter what. So you can receive it with the highest of respect and the highest of what it can do for you. Okay? You know what to do with this because that's also inside of you. You do come with a training manual. So until Tuesday, July the 7th, if most of you that are on Facebook Live would like to join us, we would love to have you. Members will come as per usual through our portal, through Zoom, and you can get a front row seat. But until next week, namaste. Have yourself a great weekend. Know that you matter and know that you're loved. Love you all. Okay, bye.